Good afternoon or morning, team. Today I'm going to be talking about the SAM-940 briefly to you on the overview on how to use it. So the SAM-940 is a sodium iodide detector that picks up on photons to identify what type of isotope we're dealing with. To turn this on, you need to press the on button here. And then it will prompt you to press enter, which will allow you to choose between two different options. For us B-Techs, we're always going to use administrator. So you'll cycle down and hit center button to select it. Alright, before we can use this type of equipment out in the field, we have to make sure it's calibrated and ready to go. So in order to do that, what you need to do is hit the menu button here, and then you need to go over to settings, which is the next one over, and go down to calibration with cesium-137. So with cesium-137, you're going to actually place it here during the calibration. I don't have a live source, so I'm pretending this one is it. But you'll go ahead and select it, and it will prompt you on what the next steps are. So it'll say, place the cesium-137 source near detector for calibration. So the best practices is you go ahead and set it here on top, and then hit continue. And it'll run its check and see if it's actually there and reading the correct levels and parameters. In this case, I'm not going to mess up my calibration. Go ahead and hit cancel. And then back out. Alright, so after that, you are going to go back to dial mode. But before we can go out, even after doing a calibration, we need to do a background. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to press over to background, hit background, and it will do a 1 minute background to subtract the background from the spectrum later on when we take our readings. I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel and talk to you about the different modes we have. So as I told you earlier, this is the dial mode here, and what this one will do is actually tell you whether you're close enough to a source or too close to a source to go into identify and determine what isotope we have. So if you're in the red, that means you're way too close and you need to back up. If you're in the green, you're ready to identify, and if you're yellow, that means you need to move closer. So if we were in the green, what you'd want to do is go over to identify and hit the center button there. This will do a reading. And provide you a report with what the results are. And this menu gives you a bunch of information. It'll tell you what type of isotope you have, what the reading of it is, and a bit more information that you can use. But we're going to hit back out and go to the next mode, which is going to be Finder. So go over to Finder. And what this will do is spit out a spectrum that you can use to see if you're coming closer to something that may be of concern, or if you're getting closer to a source, potentially. The next mode is going to be bars, if you'll select it there. This mode will actually allow us to see what types of radiation we are dealing with, and it will actually provide us bars of colors in its type. So if we have a blue bar, it'll let us know that we have an industrial type of RAM. If it's pink, a special nuclear materials type of RAM. Teal, a medical type of RAM. Green, naturally occurring RAM. Yellow is uncertain. Red is unknown. And gray is Compton edge, backscatter, peaks, or features. So if you have any of those last three there, what you actually want to do is go into spectrum, which is an option here too. And it will allow us to see a spectrum of the different types of energy levels we're reading here. Now, with a trained eye, such as like a physicist, they can actually determine whether we have something truly here or not, and what it is exactly. But those are just a few of the modes that we have here that we use on the SAM-940. I do want it to be known that the SAM-940 is purely used for identification and not for reading in rate mode or in dose. But if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you for your time.